Welcome to She Sells Radio. I think you are going to love this conversation and this episode today because I have so many clients and members of our community, asking about, okay, what do you do during your morning routine? What does that look like for you? And I'm not going to talk about the whole morning routine today. I'm actually going to laser in on the journaling that I do every morning. And there's some specific prompts that I go through that I think are incredibly powerful. And I'd say, as you listen to this, there are some, like maybe you're already doing some, you're probably not doing all of them. But listen for what's the one thing you're going to start incorporating that's going to really elevate how you show up, how you start your day, your energy, your vibration, your mindset throughout the day. Because to me, my morning routine is everything. And I'm an early wake up girl. I'm also an early bed girl. So I usually get up at 3 a.m. But I'm in bed by 8. So just for context, like I'm not the friend to go out and party with anymore. I was that girl in my 20s, not that girl anymore. And I'm totally okay with it. And I own it. And I love my early bedtime. I have early bed cuddles with Jack, and then we both fall asleep about the same time. But I'm also up early. But so all of that is just to say, it's not about skipping sleep. But look at, if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't really even have a morning routine. Well, time to get one, my friend. And so we've actually got a free guide on my website, ElyseArcher.com. It's my 6-figure morning routine. It's based on what I did for years and years and years when I was, going for my first 6 figures. And I've shifted it and elevated it a bit since then. I think it's probably now more, even more spiritual than it was back then. But I will say that routine got me through a lot of stuff. And it helped me feel really good and structured going into my day. And it's usually my go-to for someone who's like, I need to start somewhere with the morning routine. So you can go to ElyseArcher.com. You can get the free guide for the morning routine. But I wanted to, like I said, laser in here on what I do specifically for morning journaling. So journaling is a part of my day every single day. And I will say too, as I share this, some days are different. So like, for example, yesterday, I had to kind of like clear the system. I had some gunk that had gotten accumulated, and I woke up not in the best, not in the best mood, if I'm being honest. And that's pretty rare for me. I'm usually a pretty even keel, like steady Eddie type of gal. I'm, heart open, excited for the day. Yesterday wasn't like that. And so I think we don't want to make ourselves wrong for that when that happens, because that's normal. And there can be a myriad of things that cause that. And so it's not about making yourself wrong, but it is about knowing, what am I going to do to shift this energy? Because I know I don't desire to be in this space all day long. So for example, yesterday, before I did any of these other things, I had to really release. So I did some journaling about, okay, what's showing up? What are the emotions showing up? What am I making certain things mean about myself? Because it always means there's some sort of an old emotional addiction or a limiting belief showing up. And so I was able to, really clear it. It took a couple pages of some deep dive, but I was able to clear it and then, end up having a really beautiful rest of the day. But on just any average day, these are the things that I'm doing in my morning journaling. And I always start off with gratitude. And I think when you hear enough people say something that this is what works, you kind of just say, okay, I just need to do that. So after a while, when I heard every successful person say they started off their day with gratitude, and by success, I don't just mean financial, by the way, because you'll find people who have made a lot of money but are really unhappy. That's not how I define success. To me, success is happiness. The money is the cherry on top. So when I say success, I'm like, yes, they are financially abundant. Yes, they are successful, and they're stinking happy, because that's what I want in my life. And I heard enough people saying that. I was like, okay, gratitude, here we go. So I start off with 5 things, gratitude for 5 things that have already happened in my life. And sometimes it's very similar. So like my husband and my son are always on the list. But it depends. Like sometimes there's something really cool that happened the day before, and I put down gratitude for that because I want to carry that energy and that momentum with me into the day. And then from there, it's 5 things I'm grateful for that haven't happened yet in my life, but I write them as if they're already done. And this is really fun. And I learned this, again, it was like, I heard enough people say this that I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing this too. It gets you in the energy of, it's kind of like you're taking that gratitude momentum from what has already happened and you're bringing it into what you're creating now in your life as if it was already done. And it starts to feel very natural, like, yeah, like this already happened, of course. And so I'll pick whatever the 5 things are that are, most lighting me up, most exciting to me. At that time, I've always got kind of my big picture goals next to me in my office on my whiteboard, but I'll pick, what are the 5 that are most immediate? What are the 5 that like, oh, if these things had really happened right now, like this would be best day ever, right? And so I write them with gratitude as if they were already done. Now I'm going to reference, if you're watching the video of this on my YouTube, I've actually got my checklist pulled up in front of me because I've got I've got a decent morning routine. So I actually use a checklist just to like, be like, okay, yep, I did that one. I did that one. So the next thing I journal about is, and I actually talked about this in episode 171 about how to drop victim mindset, like really getting super conscious of what are my patterns and how am I showing up? And then what am I going to shift? So the next question is, who do I want to be today? Like, who do I actually want to be? Pre-paving, right? Pre-planning the day. What thoughts am I going to fire and wire? And what am I going to be conscious of not allowing in? So if you want more context on what that's all about and why to do that and why that's such a powerful question, go listen to episode 171 because I do a deeper dive into really observing your programming as the observer so you can start to shift it. But really looking at, who am I going to be today? What are the thoughts I'm going to be so conscious of rewiring? Because I'm always working on rewiring new thoughts that are in alignment with what I want to create. And then knowing the old thoughts and knowing them when they come up. So I can be like, oh, I see you. I know you. I know you're a lie. I'm not going to let you pass. So it's that type of just awareness, like conscious awareness in the moment. The next one, and I know like this is sounding like a lot, again, if I would say, if you had to pick a couple from the list I'm going to give you, do the gratitude and then do what the next one I'm going to give you after this. But honestly, this stuff doesn't take that long to do. And this next question is so powerful. If I lived heaven on earth today, what would happen? If I lived heaven on earth today, what would happen? And I love asking that question because you'll find that it stretches you. At least it does me, because you'll hear the old programming come up of like, well, that couldn't happen or that's ridiculous. But look, anything we want to create a new reality around, we've got to expand our belief system around it being possible first. So I love kind of thinking about, well, what if today was heaven? Like, what would that be? What would that look like? How would I feel? Right? Going beyond that, how would I feel? So that's a really fun question. And then the final thing, and this is something I started doing relatively recently, but I'm liking it a lot. And I'd heard it from enough people who said, this is what you do, that I was like, all right, let me start doing this too. Auto suggestion. So taking whatever your big goal is. So for me, I have like one big goal that kind of makes all the other goals happen, and writing it out for 5 minutes with music. So I write it, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and for me, mine is a financial goal, and I'm earning X per month. I'm earning X per month. I'm earning X per month. I'm earning X per month, and just writing it and writing it and writing it and writing it on the page, and getting into the energy of it. Again, none of this stuff works if we don't emotionalize it. So you've got to be able to emotionalize it while you go through the process, but boom, 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 feeling it. And it's so powerful. And I'm excited about mine right now because the way your subconscious is accepting a belief is you don't feel a lot of resistance around it when you say it. You'll always feel resistance at first because it doesn't believe it yet. And most people give up at that point. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to keep going because with enough repetition and with enough emotionalization, it will accept it. But you can tell it's accepted it when you don't feel as much resistance. And as I've been writing mine, it's like, oh, I don't really feel a lot of resistance around that. Like it actually feels exciting. I feel my heart open when I write this. This feels good. So it's like, ooh, okay, I know it's on its way. And that's really fun. I have no idea how. It doesn't really matter. Like it will happen some way, somehow. I don't care. It will happen, but you can start to tell when you don't, when you don't feel resistance around it, but you got to keep going and pushing through when your mind tells you that's BS, that's BS. You just keep going, you keep writing. Well, what if it was my reality? How would it feel? Oh, this feels so good. Have fun with it. Get in your imagination with it. And that is the morning journaling, my friend. So I want to hear what you think of this. I wanted to do kind of a short, sweet, fun little episode today because I have a lot of members, especially in our 10K club community, who will ask things like, what do you journal on? What's the morning routine? And I do deeper dives with them there in the morning routine. But I just wanted to pop on and share this because to me, when you start your day in this energy and you start your day with gratitude and momentum and then conditioning your mind to your new reality, you can carry that energy throughout the day. And it's so powerful. So let me know what you thought about this. Let me know which prompt or prompts you're going to start using every day. I'm at Elyse Archer on all social. I am so excited when you tag me and let me know what spoke to you most about this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you on our next episode of She Sells